Hey, so I want to look at a really interesting Meshuggah riff and the general ideas of rhythmic displacement and polymeter. So I know my channel has a lot of people who are subscribed for like progressive metal riffs and a lot of people who subscribe for kind of more accessible general guitar teaching content. So what I'm going to try and do is give you the overview of the important ideas in a kind of like much more accessible way with like normal music, and then we'll get into the Meshuggah towards the end. So polymeter, as you might expect, is when you have more than one meter, so more than one time signature in the music at the same time. So a really good example of this is Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. So if you listen to the drums in Kashmir, they're straightforward, normal 4/4 rock drums. But if you listen to the guitar riff, you can actually hear it in 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away now to a nice graphic I made in Paint and to the sound of Kashmir, and I want you to try and hear both of them. Okay, so there's another idea then, rhythmic displacement. So rhythmic displacement is when you take a melodic idea and you move it so that it occurs on a different place in the bar. So that can be by like shifting it a quarter note, so it's starting on the next beat, or you can shift it so by less than a beat and then it ends up with the accents in a different place. So there's a really good YouTube lesson by Anthony Wellington, I think, called The Modes of Rhythm, where he takes the same slap bass part and he moves it around the bar. And it's super cool. I definitely recommend you do your homework and check that out before continuing with this video. But there's another really accessible example, which is Hotel California by the Eagles, where you have that famous lick. So what's interesting about that is it's a 3-note melodic pattern and they're all 8th notes, right? So, but it's being played over normal 4/4, right? So you end up with the accent on a different note in the arpeggio each time. So that's a really common way of getting interesting rhythmic displacement ideas. You have some note value, right? So 2 notes to the beat, but you play a melodic pattern that is longer than that, and so it displaces it. Each time you hear the melodic pattern, it's going to be starting in a different place. So my personal favorite is when you play a 5-note melodic pattern over something with 8th notes or 16th notes. I really like that, and you hear that all the time. So there's a good example in some Dream Theater. And in some Snarky Puppy. And even in the Lorne Vestige cover I did recently, that's actually kind of like a 5-note melodic pattern being played in 16th notes. In 4/4. Okay, so you're probably seeing there's some kind of similarities there, right, between polymeter and this particular form of rhythmic displacement. So for a long time I kind of thought of those things as being roughly equivalent, you know, not technically, but in the same kind of vein. So then it was kind of interesting then when I came across Pineal Gland Optics by Meshuggah, because something I'd never considered before is that you could have something polymetric, right? So Pineal Gland Optics, like most Meshuggah, is polymetric. The guitars are playing in 6/4, drums are playing in 4/4. Polymeter, right? Our old friend. But then you could have something that then was rhythmically displaced, so it would be a melodic pattern that didn't fall in the same place on the bar or the beat, but it could be rhythmically displaced in both meters at the same time. which is really cool. So the melodic pattern, right, not particularly beautiful, right, but that pattern doesn't fit into either the 14 note 6/4 pattern or the underlying 4/4 drums, right? It doesn't fit into both of them, and so it doesn't evenly create a pattern in both. It doesn't end up falling on the same place in either the bars of 4/4 or the bars of 6/4. So that's quite mind-bending to get your head around. So what I'd suggest you do is you try listen first to that intro, right? It's just the intro riff, and tap away 4/4, right, on for the drums, and then try and just follow the rhythm of the guitars, right, which is roughly right, repeated, and then try playing the melody along with it, right? And you can actually do this stuff on a 6 string if you tune it up a semitone, and you can play along with Meshuggah an octave up. So it's an easy way for you 6 string guys to get your feet wet in the Meshuggah pool, so to speak. Okay, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the MS Paint graphics, and I hope you've listened to some of the musical ideas there and got some value out of them. Okay, thanks.